My dad banned me from Christmas, so I shut down every account they used in my name. Hi, I'm George, 28, eldest kid, family problem solver by default, and last Christmas my father met me at the door and said, "You're not invited. Go home." Behind him, I saw my brother in a ridiculous red sweater, my aunt with her pearls, even my best friend Kyle raising a glass like he belonged there. I had a pie on the passenger seat and a line rehearsed all week, "Merry Christmas, Dad," but it stayed in my throat. I just nodded, turned, and walked back to my car. Then I made one phone call. Calm voice. Names. Account numbers. 2 sentences I'd been saving for years. 10 minutes later, my phone started vibrating so hard it slid across the console. By the end of the block, 101 missed calls. I kept driving. I'm a musician, guitar, keys, voice good enough to keep the lights on, not enough to make anyone behave. I teach lessons in the afternoons, play bars on weekends, do studio sessions when they need someone who can show up sober and in tune. I drive an old van with a milk crate of pedals and a cracked phone full of half-written set lists. I'm the reliable one. In my family, reliable turns into responsible for everyone. We grew up in a duplex that rattled when trucks coughed past. Dad worked construction until his back gave out. Mom did nights at a care home. My younger brother Evan floated between college, freelance projects, and naps. When I got my first steady music residency, Mom cried. When Evan got his first traffic ticket, I paid it. It became our family script. Problem? George. Late bill? George. Just until payday. George. I told myself I was buying peace. Buying love that couldn't say itself out loud. Some months, my more was $100 and a quiet panic I renamed generosity. Then the small betrayals. Aunt Jo borrowed my keyboard for Easter choir, sold it 2 weeks later on Facebook Marketplace. I sent the link to the family chat. She replied, "Oh sweetie, is that yours? We'll fix it." She didn't. Dad said, "It's just a keyboard. You have 2. I had 1. The other was a loaner I begged not to lose. Cal, the best friend, borrowed my audio interface. For 2 days tops. It came back scratched and half dead. "You're the gear guy," he said. "You can fix it." That's how takers apologize, by turning repair into your job. The real crack came one Tuesday. Credit alert, new account, $5,000 limit, my name, my parents' address, Evan's number. I called him. "Did you open a card in my name?" Silence, then his usual slippery tone. "Don't be dramatic. I needed to build credit for the truck. You always said you'd help if I got serious." I drove straight there. Evan was on the couch, shoes on, Mom's good blanket, scrolling TikTok. Dad wiped his hands on a towel and said to no one, "We'll fix it. You're good with banks." Mom whispered from the doorway, "Don't press charges, they'll ruin Christmas." Apparently peace only counts when it costs me. I took the hit to my credit and my sleep, told myself I was choosing family. That's what people like me do, we mistake endurance for loyalty. It got worse. My name ended up on the family phone plan because your card never declines. On the Wi-Fi because the tech only takes 1. My Spotify logged into their TV, my DoorDash used for emergencies. Every month I watched bills with 3 addresses and called it love. Then Dad's genius idea, the family fund. Everyone puts in a little for emergencies. George can manage it, he's good with spreadsheets. Translation, I fill it, they forget it. I created a folder labeled family, logged every transfer like evidence would save me. New tires for Aunt Jo. Application fees for Evan. Dental work for Mom. "If you wanted to be generous," Mom said once, "don't keep score." I smiled. "I'm keeping rent." A month before Christmas, the dam broke. Kyle called. "Bro, your dad says you're withholding money from the fund, made them pay for Thanksgiving without you." I laughed. "I bought the groceries." But truth doesn't matter when gossip comes plated with gravy. I said no to fronting another deposit for Evan's new place, and Mom told me I'd gotten mean since. Music gave me attention. What attention? I play restaurants. The group chat went quiet. Then a new one started without me. I found out because Evan sent a screenshot to Kyle and accidentally sent it to me too. Over my blacked out name. Don't tell him the plan. I bought a pie anyway. Hope or habit? Maybe both. Christmas night, same house, same porch, same man. "You're not invited. Go home." No hesitation, no sadness. Behind him, the people I'd carried for years. I just nodded, turned, and walked back to my car. The pie steamed the windshield. I didn't shout. I did what I do best when feedback screams in a speaker traced the signal path. What do I control? My accounts. My name. My consent. Bank app open. Remove all authorized users. New card number. Carrier app, suspend 3 lines Dad, Mom, Evan. Streaming services. Log out all devices. Food delivery, cancel family pass. Utilities at their address under my card, stop autopay. Evan's car insurance rider, remove driver. It took 4 minutes. Cutting cords is faster than tying them. By the end of the street, my phone was a percussion track call stacking, 1, 12, 47, 101. I didn't throw it. I set it face down, drove home, and ate pie cold from the tin. Cinnamon and a door closing. The morning after Christmas, my phone looked like a crime scene. Missed calls, voice notes, texts stacked like unpaid bills. Dad's first voicemail was a snarl. What did you do, George? The next one, softer but meaner. You're punishing your family over money. Then Mom. Your brother can't call his manager because you shut off the phones. Like that was the tragedy of the night. Not the part where her son got turned away at the door. Just the phone bill. I didn't answer any of them. I made coffee, stared at the steam, and thought about every time I'd said sure instead of no. Every autopay. Every transfer. Every time I'd saved them from consequences that might have taught them something. It was weirdly peaceful. Quiet for once. At noon, Kyle called. He didn't start with hello. Man, they're losing it. They said you froze their accounts, canceled everything. I did, I said. You serious? Serious enough to start over. They said you stole from the family fund? I laughed. I created the family fund. He sighed. I know, bro. But you know how your dad tells stories, he makes himself the victim. He said you embarrassed them? They embarrassed themselves. I said. I just turned off the financing. Kyle went quiet. Then, carefully. They were wrong to lock you out. I told them that. Thanks. I said. But maybe talk to them before this goes nuclear? Too late. I said and meant it. That night the calls slowed. Then came the texts, bargaining ones. Mom. We need to talk about this like adults. Evan. You made your point, can you turn the Wi-Fi back on? Dad. This isn't what family does. I typed one reply, sent to all of them at once. I'm not your bank. Pay your own bills. We can talk when my name isn't on everything you use. Silence for 6 hours. Then a message from an unknown number. This is Lacey from Caramel Ridge Apartments. We received a guarantor verification under your name for an application from Evan Carter. Please confirm or deny. Guarantor. My brother was trying to open a new lease using my credit again. I called her back. Deny. I said. Understood. She said. We'll flag it. Then she paused, her voice softening. You'd be surprised how often this happens. I wouldn't. I said and hung up. I texted Evan, don't use my info again. Next time it's police, not paperwork. He replied within a minute, you're ruining my life. This is family. You think your music makes you better than us? I wrote back, no. Boundaries do. Then deleted it. Sent instead, get a co-signer who knows what they're signing. After that, quiet again. I liked it. The kind of quiet that feels earned. The next morning, Mom called early, voice sugared and cracking. George, honey, let's just reset. Bring back the phones. We'll talk after New Year. You've set the terms for 28 Christmases. I said. I get to set them for one. She sighed. Money comes and goes, family is forever. Then it'll survive without my credit score. I said. She hung up. Over the next week, reality hit them like bad Wi-Fi. The house internet went dark. Dad tried to put it in his own name, but the system flagged old debt. Aunt Jo started calling cousins to say I'd gone. Cold and cruel. It spread until it burned itself out. Truth usually does, even without me defending it. Meanwhile, I started to feel something I hadn't felt in years' space. No text demanding. Can you spot me till Friday? No guilt disguised as gratitude. Just quiet. Then Kyle showed up at my place with coffee and a look that meant trouble. They're saying you sent them a bill. He said. I did. I said. An itemized spreadsheet. You what? Receipts. Totals. All color-coded. I called it evidence. He rubbed his face. You know they'll see that as an attack. I know, I said. But I'm done defending fiction. Let the math talk. That night, I attached family_2023-2024_ Excel sex to the group chat with a single message. If you think I owe you, send a list. Otherwise, we're square. Within minutes, chaos. Mom, how dare you share private finances? Dad, a spreadsheet doesn't measure loyalty. And Joe, petty. Evan, refund the $300 I gave last March. I scrolled. Last March, Evan had sent me $50 with a pizza emoji. I screenshotted it, circled it, and sent it back. No words. Just proof. Silence. Then new messages, this time from cousins, distant relatives, even a few old friends. One said, "They've been using you for years. Good on you." Another. Finally someone told them no. I didn't reply. I made another cup of coffee, turned off my phone, and stared at my empty kitchen. It wasn't revenge. It was air. For the first time, I could breathe in my own house. By New Year's Eve, my world was divided neatly between two folders, paid, and blocked. No noise, no notifications, just proof. The family fund account sat frozen, balances even, my name alone on the header. I should have felt guilty. Instead, I felt taller. Then the first text of the new year: "You are listed as an emergency contact for Evan Carter." My stomach tightened. For a second, I thought accident, hospital, the worst kind of déjà vu. But the voicemail that followed wasn't about blood, it was from the leasing office again. "He's been using your information. We just need confirmation you're no longer co-signer." No emergency. Just another bill in disguise. I called, denied, hung up. Then I texted Evan one line: "Next time you use my name, it'll be police, not paperwork." He replied instantly, "You wouldn't." I didn't answer. That afternoon, Aunt Jo sent a group message. "Your mother's in tears. She says you sent her a bill for the Wi-Fi. You should be ashamed." I wasn't. I was eating rice and eggs, the same meal I used to choke down when I was covering everyone's bills, but now it tasted different. I was eating because I liked it, not because it was all I could afford after paying for their tires. A few days later, my cousin Leia called out of nowhere. We barely talked growing up. She escaped the family orbit years ago. She said, "I started therapy." "Good," I said. "It's about time someone in this family did." The therapist asked me, "Who taught you had to be useful to be loved?" And I said, "My family." Then I thought of you. "You were always useful." I laughed softly. "Still am. Just to myself now." She said, "You were chosen into it." "I'm sorry." We met for coffee the next day. Two adults comparing spreadsheets, hers for budgeting, mine for boundaries. To anyone watching, we looked like math nerds. To me, it felt like freedom. January rolled on. Bills shifted into their names or didn't. The house internet stayed dark for 10 days until Dad finally got his own account. The phone lines stayed off. Evan texted me a screenshot of his empty checking account. "You did this." I typed, "No." "You did." Then deleted it, sent nothing. Work picked up. A producer I'd sent demos to months ago reached out. "Need 30 seconds of something that sounds like heartbreak but hopeful," he said. I laughed. "That's my whole life, man." It paid more than 3 months of family fund deposits. In the studio, I recorded clean guitar lines that sounded like walking away without looking back. For the first time, I played not to impress anyone, but to hear myself clearly. Then, mid-January, Kyle showed up again, this time holding my old audio interface. "I owe you for this," he said, setting it gently on the table. "It's fine," I said. "No," he said, pulling a folded stack of bills from his wallet, half the value, but real cash. "It's a start." I looked at him. "Starts matter." He nodded. "I miss when it was just us, man. Open mic nights and gas station sandwiches." "Me too," I said. "But I don't miss being everyone's safety net." That night, I went through my accounts one last time. Every subscription, every autopay, every shared password gone. My name, finally mine again. At midnight, my phone buzzed one more time. Not from family. From Leia. "Happy New Year, cousin. Proud of you." I stared at it for a long time. Then I smiled. Not because I'd won. Because for the first time in years, I didn't owe anyone a thing. By February, my life had gone quiet enough to hear small things again: kettle whistles, guitar hum, the creak in my old van when the weather turned cold. The silence used to scare me. Now it sounded like peace. The family, though, wasn't done performing. One afternoon, I opened my laptop and saw a new Facebook post from Aunt Jo. Some people think cutting family off makes them strong. But all it shows is greed. There was a blurry photo of my dad sitting at their dining table, arms crossed, eyes tired. The caption, "We raised a musician, not a machine." Comments flooded in. Distant cousins, church ladies, people who hadn't spoken to me since middle school. Sympathy hearts and prayers. A few subtle digs about children forgetting their roots. I didn't comment. I didn't message. I took a screenshot and filed it in my receipts folder, same as I would a tax document. That's what my family never understood. I don't fight anymore. I document. A few days later, Mom texted, "Let's meet for lunch." Neutral ground. I agreed. We met at a diner near the freeway, the kind with cracked vinyl booths and coffee that tastes like punishment. She looked smaller somehow, her hair pinned neat, her smile rehearsed. "George," she said, voice trembling just enough to feel performed. "This isn't us. It's been us for years," I said gently. "You just didn't notice until the funding stopped." She flinched. "It was never about money. It was always about money. You just called it love." Her eyes welled up. "You've changed. I stopped confusing sacrifice for loyalty," I said. "That's all." She reached across the table. "Your brother's trying, you know. He's looking for work." "Great. Let him try with his own credit score." She sighed, the kind that means she's out of arguments, but not out of guilt. "Families should help each other." "They should," I said. "But help and rescue aren't the same thing." We sat in silence until the waitress dropped off our check. Mom slid it toward me automatically. Old muscle memory. I stared at it, then at her. She flushed. "Oh. Right. I got it," I said and stood. "But this is the last time out of habit." That night, I played a small gig at a bar where nobody knew my name. 20 people, dim lights, a few clinking glasses. Halfway through my set, I started a new song I'd written the week before, soft guitar, clean reverb, a line that went, "I bought peace and called it rent." The room went still. Someone in the back whispered, "Damn." When the show ended, a kid maybe 20 came up to me, eyes wide. "That song, was that real?" "Too real," I said. He grinned. "Then keep it." After the crowd thinned, I sat on the stage edge, legs dangling, and realized something simple but massive. I didn't need a family that cost me myself. I had a life that fit my size now. The next morning, an email from the producer. "We used your track. You'll see payment next week." I stared at the subject line for a long minute. A year ago, that money would have gone straight into the family fund. Now? Rent, food, maybe new strings. Maybe a day off. That night, Dad called. First time since Christmas. I let it ring twice, then answered. "You made your point," he said flatly. "It wasn't a point, Dad. It was a boundary." He snorted. "You think boundaries make you better?" "No," I said. "Just free." He hung up. But for once, I didn't feel hollow after. Just clean. March arrived like a clean chord, simple, steady, no feedback. I'd almost forgotten what it felt like to wake up without that low dread hum of someone else's crisis vibrating under my skin. My mornings were mine again. Coffee, guitar, quiet. "No. Can you spot me till Friday?" Messages. No guilt disguised as gratitude. Then, one morning, the mailman dropped a letter through the slot, official envelope, my name typed clean in black ink. "You are listed as an emergency contact for Evan Carter." Again. I stared at it, half expecting another mess. This time, it wasn't about leases or loans. It was a medical form. I read the line twice. "Primary emergency contact George Carter." For a second I froze. Part of me wanted to rip it up, to erase my name from every paper that tied us together. The other part, the old part, wanted to drive straight to wherever he was and make sure he was breathing. Old instincts die loud. I didn't call. I texted instead. "Emergency means ambulance or fire, not rent. Hope you're okay." He left me on read. And somehow, that was enough. The next week, I got an email from the local station that aired small indie acts. "Saw your bar set on Instagram," it said. "We've got a Sunday slot open. Want it?" I did. The gig was small, but the pay was honest, and the applause was real. People clapped because of sound, not surname. After the show, Kyle came by. He'd cut his hair short, looked older, quieter. "You sounded good," he said. "Thanks," I said, coiling a cable. He hesitated. "I talked to your dad last week." I waited. "He said you're happier now." I didn't believe him until tonight. I laughed. "That might be the first time he's been right about me." Kyle nodded, then asked, "You think you'll ever patch things up?" "I'm not chasing peace anymore," I said. "If it comes, it can find me." We sat in silence. He tapped a rhythm on his leg. "You know, I started paying my own bills last month. First time in my life my phone plan doesn't say George Carter." I smiled. "Proud of you." He grinned back. "Feels good, man. Expensive, but good." When he left, I walked home through the cold, the air sharp enough to bite. My breath came out like smoke, and for the first time in years I didn't feel like it was costing me to exhale. 2 days later, Mom texted a photo, a casserole. Caption, "Look what I made." Family recipe. No apology. Just an olive branch baked in cheese. I stared at it, smiled, and wrote back, "Looks good. Coffee next week?" My treat. Her reply was fast, "Yes. Yours works too." It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't closure. It was something smaller but real, a start. That night, I opened my spreadsheet one last time. Highlighted cells. Notes. Totals. Then I renamed the file, Family Archive Closed. My house was quiet except for the click of my keyboard and the low hum of my amp. I picked up my guitar and played that same clean line from the bar show, the one about peace and rent. This time, it didn't sound like mourning. It sounded like ownership. People say money changes you. It doesn't. It just amplifies the truth already in the mix. When the funding stopped, so did the performance. And what's left now is the best sound I know, my own life, balanced, in tune, and mine. April brought a kind of quiet I hadn't known since high school. The kind that isn't absence, but balance. I cleared out all the old accounts, changed passwords, locked down my credit, even switched banks. My phone stopped buzzing like a slot machine. I started to remember what focus felt like. One morning, Dad called. I let it ring twice before answering. His voice was softer this time, still gruff, but tired. "Can we talk Sunday?" he asked. "Just us." I paused. "Yeah." We met at a diner off the highway, same one where Mom and I had sat weeks earlier, but this time the coffee tasted better, or maybe I just did. Dad looked smaller somehow, not in size but in certainty. He pushed his cup away and went straight for it. "We were unfair," he said. "We turned you into a wallet." I nodded. "You did." He exhaled, a slow, heavy thing. "Your mother misses you." "I miss who I thought she was," I said. He looked down, thumb rubbing the edge of his napkin. "I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to say, we messed up." That sentence hung there, awkward and real. "You helped," he added, almost to himself. "I know," I said. "I just stopped paying to stay loved." He looked up then, eyes glassy. "I don't know how to fix it." "Stop calling money love," I said. He nodded. "Okay." We didn't hug in the parking lot. Just two men standing up straight, unsure what to do with their hands. He said, "Take care of yourself, George." "I am," I said. For the first time. I drove straight to the studio after. The air smelled like coffee and old wood. I plugged in my guitar, set up the mic, hit record. No lyrics this time, just a clean instrumental, slow and deliberate, something that sounded like boundaries settling into place. When I played it back, I didn't hear anger anymore. Just release. Later that night, Kyle came by, knocked twice before entering, a first for him. He handed me a can of seltzer. "Guess what?" he said. "What?" "I finally got my own Wi-Fi. Paid the deposit myself. Even remembered the password." I laughed. "Proud of you." He grinned. "I'm learning from the master of independence." I raised my can. "Here's to expensive peace." We clinked. He looked at me, half serious. "You ever think you'll play for them again? Like really play? Christmas, maybe?" "Maybe," I said. "When it's an invitation, not an expectation." When he left, I sat on the floor beside my amp, the hum low and steady. Outside, rain began to hit the window, soft and rhythmic. For the first time, I realized I didn't dread holidays anymore. I could make new ones. Ones that didn't demand an invoice. I opened my calendar, clicked on December, and typed 3 words in bold under Christmas Day: stay home. Play. Eat pie. This time, it wasn't an act of defiance. It was a plan. By summer, peace wasn't fragile anymore, it was normal. The calls slowed to birthdays, the guilt softened into silence. Evan finally got his own place. Mom sent a photo of scalloped potatoes, no words, just a truce. Dad texted once, proud of you. I didn't need to ask for what. I played bars, slept well, paid bills that matched my name. People say money changes you. It didn't. It revealed the script. When the funding stopped, so did the performance. I still love them, I just won't bankroll them. Both can be true. I'm George, 28, musician, eldest son. I'd buy the pie, eat it from the tin, and finally keep the slice that's mine.